In this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 tips to keeping your Cutco sharper longer. Let's get to it. Tip number 1 to keeping your Cutco sharper longer, your Cutco Storage. One of the worst things you could ever do for your Cutco is just throw your investment of Cutco into the drawer. You know, you spent a lot on your Cutco and it's meant to last a lifetime, but if you don't store it properly, you will need it serviced more often. Simple things like beating up each other's blades while they're in the drawer will cause them to dull quickly. Make sure to invest in proper storage options. I'll share with you some common options that work and help keeping your Cutco sharper longer. Option number 1 is magnetic knife blocks and magnetic knife strips. These are really great other options for storing your Cutco, and magnetic knife strips make it easy to save countertop space and drawer space while properly storing your knives and keeping them in arm's reach. Storing them in a block is obviously the best thing that you can possibly do because it's actually going to allow them to stay sharper longer. With your table knives, just simply put those blades side up. You can thank me for that tip later. These knife blocks are designed to be the tried and true way to keeping your knives sharper longer. Having horizontal slits and the design and the specific type of wood that we use all work together to help maintain that sharpness. Lastly, please avoid utilizing these Cutco sheaths that are designed for shipping purposes as your typical storage sheaths. Things like paper and cardboard can dull the edges very quickly and easily, and that can easily happen by pulling them in and out. And there's a lot of really nasty things that these cardboard actually absorb by sitting in the drawer that's not being cleaned on a regular basis. So the last option here is if you live in an RV, if you travel a lot, you have a boat, or just not very much kitchen space at all, magnetic knife blocks, strips, and Cutco blocks or drawer organizers are not for you. Just simply use one of the Cutco knife sleeves. These are great because they just fit right in. Great for tailgating, camping, or even just taking them on the road. Again, just slide your thumb up the spine of the knife and just know that that blade is being protected for years to come. Tip number 2 to keeping your Cutco sharper longer, cutting boards. The biggest thing that can dull your knives is really hard cutting surfaces. Tomatoes, bell peppers, bananas, peaches, you know, these things aren't really dulling your knives that much. Even harder things like chicken and chicken bones aren't dulling your knives that much. It's the cutting surface. So things like countertop, coriander, glass cutting boards will rip your Cutco knives to shreds. Instead, opt for a soft cutting surface like a wooden cutting board or the Cutco polypropylene cutting boards. These are designed to have a little bit of a give when you're cutting. I get that you might be concerned about sanitary issues and that hard cutting surfaces are easy to clean, but every time you hear that knife screech, that's your knife screaming for help. So instead, simply sanitize the Cutco cutting boards because they're dishwasher safe, and wooden cutting boards you can keep safe and sanitary by going through the necessary scraping techniques, which you can find online videos for, and just using normal food grade oils to keep them pristine. Tip number 3 to keeping your Cutco sharper longer, the controversial argument, dishwash versus hand wash. Hey, I know there's a lot of feelings out there and I would love to hear what you feel is the right way to take care of your Cutco in the comment section below. But after doing this for 13 years, selling millions of dollars of Cutco and helping out over 5,000 customers of Cutco and using Cutco daily in my kitchen for nearly the last 20 plus years, I'm confident in saying that dishwashing your Cutco will not dull them like they will other knives. Remember that most knives that are being dishwashed are dulling simply because they're already using cheap ingredients, cheap flimsy steel that's gonna go dull anyway. So with your Cutco, feel free to throw in the dishwasher if you're having a hard day. Now at my house, what do? We hand wash. And it's not so much because of the dulling issue, but we just use our knives so much that we don't want to have to wait for the nightly load of dishes to be done to use our favorite knives again. Tip number 4 to keeping your Cutco sharper longer. A great tool to have is the Cutco Handheld Home Sharpener. It's what I use at home to keep my straight edges sharper longer, and I'm a big critic of keeping them sharp. Now, just like how your block is designed to help maximize the sharpness of your knives over time, This is another great tool to add to your Cutco arsenal, helping protect that investment that you've made into your Cutco. Now, I'll have another full video designed on teaching you how to use this, but again, this is a great tool to use once every month to every couple of months for the knives that are used every single day. Tip number 5 to keeping your Cutco sharper longer. Simply using the right tool for the right job, it makes easy sense understanding why the knives will stay sharper longer. You don't want to carve a turkey with a paring knife, and you don't want to peel an apple with a carving knife, and using a chopper knife to go through frozen food is gonna dull your Cutco a lot faster and easier. I get it. It can be a little bit overwhelming learning how to use a new handful of tools in your kitchen. But we've made that very simple and easy for you. Go ahead and go watch the how to use video series on each knife that we have, and soon you too will be a pro. By following these 5 simple steps, you're gonna help keep your Cutco sharper longer. I wanna hear from you. What are your favorite knife tips? What other Cutco questions do you have? We're gonna look forward to seeing those in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video, and just remember, it's not what you cook that matters most, it's who you share it with.